Are you on dating sites?
Oh my God. I'm triggered. Hold on. Give a second.
Tell me why, oh why it feels so right. It feels so right to be alone. Whether day or night, rain or shine, it feels so right to be alone.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Arlene is Alone, the Single Life series. And today I am so excited to talk to my guest, Toni Francis. Toni and I know each other because we work on another little show together,
Yes.
right? Wait a minute, are we wearing hats today?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I actually brought my hat.
Okay.
Because I knew you would be fashionably, like what do you think? Like,
I mean, you know, do you love it?
well, judging by the look of your face, I don't love it. So yeah,
Okay, let's fix your hair now.
forget that. I just found out you're single,
Yes.
and
And
like, tell me a little bit about how. Well, first of all, my first reaction was to say to you, "I can't believe you're single. Like, you're beautiful and you're outgoing and
yeah.
you're fashionable." And I thought, well,
Keep going and
yeah, got all those things all those things that you are.
yeah.
But then I thought, well, what do you mean I can't believe you're single? Like, this whole series is about being okay with being single.
Right.
Of course, it's fine that you're single.
It is fine. It is fine. Honestly, like I'm at a good place. I'm not like going home every day and being like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm single." It's not one of those. I think I have my moments where I'm like, "Okay, it'll be nice to have a partner." Because I've been single for a long time,
How long?
like 8 years,
8 years.
which is a very long time, I think.
And like, is that 8 years like sex free?
Mostly,
Mo-
mostly,
mo-
mostly,
So,
mostly.
because that's another thing that people talk about, like the abstaining, right? When
Yeah,
you're single,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was like, okay, you realize that it's not always about a sexual issue, or a sexual need.
Yeah,
It's about just being okay with yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
And I also found, because it has been a while,
Yeah.
but I found But I also found, like, some of those interactions became, like, super meaningless to me after a while, and it just
Yeah.
didn't feel once it doesn't feel good anymore, because 'cause I'm all for, like, sexual liberation, do your thing, as long as you feel good about it. When it started not feeling good because I was, like, not connecting with these people in a real way, they didn't know me, then I was like, "Okay, this is not what I want for myself," and so I decided to be like, "Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna make that a part of my life, because it doesn't mean anything to me anymore."
No, I love that. Like, that's such a smart way to think about it, but it's also just shows how in tune you are with yourself. I think that it becomes a meaningless activity with a complete stranger, and then you go, "Is this fulfilling me? Is this making me a better person, or is it what I really want right now?"
Right.
And I think we're told that it is what we want,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly, and then you should have it, and then you can feel a lot of pressure, because 'cause I'm 37 now.
Oh,
I know. I look like I'm 22, 23,
you
21,
do. Well,
24,
23,
25,
I think I was
23.
I was okay with 21 might no, I mean,
I'm pushing it. 20, what you said at 21's pushing it, girl. Okay, it's okay. It's crazy because I have a son who's 17, and I still feel like I'm 17. I feel, like, very young at heart, but I'm still 37 years old. And so sometimes I feel that pressure going into, being 40. I'm like, oh, I haven't had like a really strong relationship for a while. I'm still single going into 40. My son's about to leave the house. So I'm going to be like a empty nester. I'm like, who? I'm like, oh my God, I'm an adult. Like, what's happening? Oh, it's still so strange to me. And so I think now where I'm at, I would like to have a partner. I know this is the single life series, and I still embrace being single, and I love it, can hang out with my friends and all this kind of stuff, but I would say, like, now I think I am ready for a partner.
So, I mean, the question we all have, like, I know I have it, you must have it. Are you on dating sites?
Oh my God. I'm triggered. Hold on. Second. So my thing is I, like, download them, I think I'm putting, like, really nice photos, a really cute little, profile. Oh, this is what dating me would be like, all of that, and I'm being matched with people that I'm like, "I'm sorry,
No.
no." And so what happens is I delete it. So I delete it, and then I go months without, being on apps, going on dates, like, doing whatever, and then I'm like, "Alright, let me go ahead and try. Maybe it's that app, maybe it's Hinge, let me try Bumble." Same kind of thing. I'm just not having any luck on those apps.
So it makes me wonder, is it harder for men to date now because they don't know what's expected of them and women
Possibly.
or like are the standards are like way more like I expect certain things, and if you can't deliver that, I'm not interested. Or
Probably. I mean, you have to get a guy on the couch to ask. Good. Stay tuned. Next episode. But yeah, probably. Like, it's probably is harder. I do think like women's standards have gone up. Women are a lot of the times the breadwinner in the family. We are going to school and graduating more than men are. We're making a lot more money than we used to. And so the standards are different. What we're expecting are different for a lot of women. And so I imagine that's a little bit more difficult.
so, what is it you want from a partner then? Because I'm curious. Like,
Yeah.
you have so much going for you.
Oh, thank
You do
you.
all the right things for yourself. So, but you want this relationship. So, what is it that you want from that relationship?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. There's some core values that we're going to stick to that I would stick to. Um, the biggest one is that they believe in God and have their own relationship with God. I think that's the most important thing to me. But I think overall is just somebody who is grateful for life. And that shows up in the way that they treat themselves, they treat me, they treat other people, they navigate through life, they move through life. There's just like this gratefulness and this gratitude for being here. And you can see it in the joy that they bring to any room.
And do you feel like that is going to complete you somehow? Like, do you like that? And back to what do you think you want in your life that you don't have today that a relationship's going to give you?
I don't think there's a completion. I don't feel like, oh, I'm missing something in my life. I don't wake up every day and be like, well, I guess I'll go through the day, but something's missing at the end of the night. Like, no, I watch my, yeah, don't you know? No, no, I watch my YouTube shows and then I go to sleep. But it is really just something that I built this life for myself. I'm doing the work. I have great friends, great family, and all of that kind of stuff. And now it's all about just sharing that with someone.
Interesting. So sharing it with somebody.
Yeah.
Interesting. But I do sense the anxiety that comes with being in society today for a strong woman to find a man who's okay with her strength
Right.
and isn't intimidated by it
Right.
and is still allows you to be feminine. Because I think part of being a strong woman, tell me if you think
That's true. Yeah.
if you're a strong woman, do you feel like you can't be as feminine because some of that looks like it's weak if you're too feminine and too girly, for lack of a better word, that somehow that is taking away from the strength you worked so hard to build?
Yeah, I think that's a really, really, I knew where you were going when you even started that. I think for me, it because you're sort of like living in survival mode for so long, it's so hard to like relinquish that and allow somebody else to make decisions that are
Right.
that are probably beneficial to you, but it's so hard to allow somebody else to make decisions, allow somebody else to lead as well because you've just had to do it yourself for so long. And so it becomes a subconscious thing. You're not even realizing that you're sort of maybe overpowering a conversation or you're making all these decisions and not letting anybody else sort of like help you. You don't even realize that. And like years and years go by and you haven't received help, but you also haven't asked for help. And then you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, like this is hard. How come da 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 da? You haven't asked for help. Nobody even knows that you're struggling or whatever the case is because you got to be this strong person all the time. And so I even think to myself, if and when that's to happen to have a partner, I don't even know how to do that because I've been doing it all alone for so
Yeah.
long.
Can you be kind of that girl that needs help with things? And can you be that woman that needs someone to support and do things for her around the house when you've been doing it yourself all the time?
Well, no, I could use somebody. Let's make that very clear. I could use somebody to do some things around the house. That is the one thing that I'm like, child, I am not. I will literally leave. There's a doorknob. There's a doorknob in my house that has been broken for about a year or two.
Oh,
'Cause I am not doing that. I tried. I don't know what to do. So that would be nice.
Yeah, well, there's people you can call to do that.
That is true.
There are people that you don't
Look
have
at
to.
that. Arlene's
you-
like,
you-
listen, she's
yeah.
giving me all the things to be like, girl, you do not need a man. Let me tell you, there's this number for this number for that.
Let me ask you a question. Let me give you. I have a friend, a really good friend who is she's a journalist and she interviews people for a living, and I'm a business person, and I'm always having business conversations. And we were talking the other day, and her dating life, she goes on dates, and she says, I don't know, it just doesn't work out. And I was listening to her, and I said, well, tell me about your conversations. And she told me, and I looked at her, and like it was a light bulb went off for me. And I said, okay, so when you're on a date, you're interviewing them. You're asking them questions,
Right.
and they're feeling like, oh my God, like I'm on the
interrogated.
spot.
Yeah.
And when I'm on a date, I'm grilling them about their business. I'm asking about their business. And those are not fun conversations
not
in
at
a
all.
date situation. They don't want to have those conversations. So maybe do you think you're throwing off a vibe that is like too strong? Is there such a thing? Can you be?
No,
I
can you be
think
too
can be. I think strength is a good thing, but
Yeah.
do you think it's too strong?
I
Can you
don't
be?
know. I don't really get that far in the process, to be very honest.
Got to get to the
Gotta
conversation.
get to there. Usually I'm turned off quite quickly. Yeah.
Wait.
What?
What,
Oh,
what turns you off?
everything. I don't know. And I think that's the problem with being single for too long, that it's like you're so good with like your life and how you are and how, you communicate with people, whatever, that when people just say sentences that don't make sense and you're like not capitalizing things, I know it's too picky. It's stupid. Like I'm going to be single forever. I know. But people they say little things that really shouldn't bother you, but you're so like in your zone, you're in your vibe. Anything that's like off, how are you looking at me like, girl?
No, I get
You
it.
gotta-
Like, I get it because
It's hard.
I think that's I think sometimes you have to determine what you're prepared to accept
Yeah.
in order to be in a good relationship. And if you can't accept it, then maybe you can't be in a good relationship. But in your case, Toni, like maybe you're getting in your own way a little bit. Like you're overthinking things.
I guess this is my problem, whatever, is I'm very sarcastic, like super sarcastic. Yeah, okay.
Never would have guessed that.
It's just my vibe. And I think maybe it's too much for people right off the bat, but it's just so hard because I
Change who
can.
you are.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know how to be like, I like, as I said, I like to have fun. I like to joke. I like to like, so off the bat, I'm already with like the sarcasm and the this. And I find that the men are just like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, well, first of all, you're fishing in the wrong pond.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
why I can't have the apps.
And
so-
you should be able to be completely yourself. So
I
I
agree.
think the whole conversation is leading to that, which is, I've asked you lots of questions about how you feel and what it's like to be dating. But ultimately, if you're good with yourself
Yeah.
and you want a relationship, well, I don't want to say like you're going to find one because I think that's bullshit. I don't think you just find a relationship because you got up one day and said, oh, I'm open to anything. And one day Mr. Right's going to walk in the door. That's like a Hallmark movie.
Right.
That doesn't happen in real life.
Right.
But I do think if you're good with yourself and you put yourself in situations where you might meet somebody, you will.
Have you had experiences where men have found you intimidating?
Oh, it is the number one word that is ascribed to me.
Really?
Yes, if I say to any of my male friends, I'll say, like back when I wanted to be in a relationship, when I wasn't single for so long that I kind of decided that I really was happy being single. Back in the day when I thought it was somehow that I was not complete unless I was in a relationship, and I'd go on dates and I would say, or I'd say to my male friends, like, why am I not getting dates? Is it my appearance? Is it something about me? And they would say, you're just too intimidating. And it was like a meltdown for me. I hate that word. What does that mean? Like,
Facts.
I'm just, again, being myself. And I don't want to be intimidated. I don't think men are called intimidating when they're strong.
They're just cool. He's suave,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I shouldn't give you any relationship advice, though. Like, just let's be clear. Like, this is the single series. This is not like the relationship show, because clearly I shouldn't be giving any of that. But I think you're going to find somebody because you want to and because you're putting yourself out there and you're going to places to meet people and you're on, like I would stay on the dating app for more than a minute just to give yourself a little chance to find somebody. But ask your friends, get set up.
Yeah.
I think you're like a breath of fresh air.
Oh, thank you.
You're absolutely stunningly beautiful. And I don't mean that like on the outside, yes, for sure, but on the inside, like I
appreciate
think we tend to say too much to women that is about our looks and our appearance, but you are the whole package, Tony. You
Aw.
truly are. Like you're smart, you're funny, you're sarcastic in a great way. You are like fashionable. You are definitely in charge of your own life, and you
Mhm.
have a clear path to what you want. And if you will put yourself into the right situations, you will find somebody because you want to, not because you need to. And I
Mhm.
think that's the secret. Find somebody because you want to, not because you need to.
And I appreciate you and your single life series because, again, as I mentioned, maybe that happens for me, maybe it doesn't. So it's so important to be good with being
Yeah.
alone
Yeah.
and being single, and I am. And so I think it's really important what you're doing as well and sharing to women and men and whoever that it's so important to love your life
Yeah.
no matter what stage you are in that life, so that you can embrace what's to come
Right.
as well. So I really love what you're doing as
Ah,
well with
thanks.
the single life series.
Well, we have to normalize loving ourselves. We have to normalize being okay with
That's
ourselves, and that's it.
Tell me why, oh why it feels so right. It feels so right to be